So at $28 silver, we could end up with $1.5 million a year in free cash flow.
Talking silver here today with Silver Crown Royalties and Peter. Silver trading at $28. What a run it has been this year.
It's been quite a good start for silver. Yeah, it's up 27% off the lows January, February, and it's done relatively well against other metals also. Very encouraging for us as we continue to grow out the business. Obviously, every single dollar increase in the price of silver flows right down to the bottom line for us.
And we've got quite a few videos on our playlist with Peter talking silver, talking macroeconomics, so do check them out. Talking about your royalties, just as a recap for those not familiar with Silver Crown yet, what royalty deals have you already done? What's already in your portfolio as of now?
So we focus on silver as byproduct credits in our portfolio. We've signed 4 different agreements, 2 of which have closed. That's on a royalty in British Columbia. That's a gold mine where we take 90% of the silver. And also in Brazil, that's Pilar, where we also take 90% of the silver. Those transactions have closed and we are receiving payments from both.
Peter, I understand that there's 2 additional pins kind of in working progress that will appear on this map soon.
That's exactly right. So we signed 2 additional agreements. One of them is pending a judicial review in the state in Brazil. That is just to the north of Pilar. That's the project called Tucano, which I think it has the potential to be our longest life asset. It is just absolutely incredible in terms of size with exploration upside. And the next one is in Peru. It's on PPX's Igor project. That one is a little bit of a different structure for us. It's much more of a silver loan. However, it will still be structured as a royalty. What we've done there is we've executed a non-binding letter of intent. We're in the due diligence stage right now, and we hope to advance that toward a close later in the first half.
Sounds like a good outlook for 2024. Talking about royalties in general, I have heard back from investors that there is some concern that the royalty business normally, in terms of doing favorable deals for investors, is best done when commodities are at an all-time low. So could you explain a bit why your business is different and where's your edge in the royalty business with Silver Crown?
Thank you. Because we focus on silver as byproduct credits, where the economic impact of that royalty is insignificant on the whole, it really doesn't matter if silver is at $20 or $30 or $50. What we serve to do is crystallize value for that silver in the market. And because it is such a small portion of the overall revenue stream going to the company, they're perfectly happy to do a transaction with us at current market prices. When it comes to gold, when it comes to copper, the primary metals behind a mine, absolutely, we can argue that it would be more difficult to structure attractively priced royalties. But don't forget, the economic situation of the vendor always comes to play. And even with higher metal prices, you have to have a premium valuation in terms of equity in order to conserve your cost of capital. If you don't, you would still do a royalty or a stream. As well, you would use this opportunity really to pay down your debt if you have any, because we are in a higher interest rate environment. So if you're going to be refinancing your debt, it would make sense to do it through a royalty or a stream as opposed to in the current high rate environment market.
Peter, that makes complete sense. Talking about financing, you currently have a financing round open at 40 cents a share. Perhaps you can quickly explain how the viewers can actually get in touch with you and potentially participate. That's number 1. And 2, how that compares to your current valuation as a company. And perhaps you can place it into context of the amount of silver ounces that you currently have in royalty deals.
Absolutely. So the easiest way to get in touch is through our website, which is silvercrownroyalties.com. And the email, a phone number, all that is on there, as is the subscription agreement, which is what you would fill out in order to participate in the 40-cent unit financing, which also comes with an 80-cent half-share warrant. That's going to be good for 3 years. In terms of where we are with that, we started looking for between $6 and $11 million. We need $6 million in order to list as a free cash flowing company. So far, we have either indications for or we have closed on $3 million worth of that. So there's $3 million left for us in order to move forward. All this money is being used to secure or further fund the royalties that I just talked about. Assuming they all close as planned, that would get us to 80,000 ounces of silver a year. If we assume that our internal burn rate is slightly higher than what it is now, but at about $1 million a year, plus whatever other costs, call it $1.5 million total cost, we could end up with free cash flow. And I do have to stress could, because we don't have a crystal ball. So at $28 silver, we could end up with $1.5 million a year in free cash flow. If it's $22, that would be closer to $1 million in free cash flow. And relative companies trade between 20 and 30 times free cash flow. And by relative comparable companies, I mean nano cap sized companies, so less than $500 million market cap, but more specifically, less than 100 million market cap, which would put us, assuming the same multiples, to somewhere between 20, 30 million or more in terms of valuation. And with 50 million shares outstanding, that's your 40-cent number at the bottom end, but it could be 60, 80 cents, again, depending on the multiples. We have no idea how the market is going to treat this company when we do list. We're hoping in the second half of this year, and we will start the process in May in terms of advancing the listing. So usually takes 4 or 5 months in order to get to that point. We don't know what the market will pay for the equity, but again, there are comparable multiples out there that one can look at for direction. So we think that this deal is relatively fairly priced, but we'd like to point out the fact that we haven't changed the price of 40 cents in the last 8 months, and we continue to not only bolt on royalties, as evidenced by the chart that Arne put up with the number of additional pin drops pending, but also we haven't participated in any of the price upside that we've seen in both silver and silver-related equities and gold-related equities. So we could argue that the 40-cent round is actually at a discount to peers at this point.
Yeah, and we did take part in this round and also the previous round. We just have to update our canvas here because Silver Crown is part of our portfolio. And Peter, exciting times, good leverage towards the silver price here in this case, and fingers crossed for your funding round.
Thank you very much, Arne.